There we go. There we go. Hello, guys. Are you ready? You ready to do this? I'm excited. We got Brent here. We got Wes here. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
That's a great tune you chose there.
That's a little Ronald Jenkins classic right there.
Really?
It's been a while. Going back to our roots with that one.
Mm-hmm.
We have an open Mumble Room, too, but only just a few brave souls in the Mumble Room right now. Hello, Mumble Room. How you guys doing? Just Mini Mac, Bearded Tech in there. We got a couple
Hey, hello.
Hey, Mini Mac. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good.
So Peter Tag wanted to just join us right now. He was just eating something, but he will be here.
It's dinner time for some people.
It's dinner time for some people.
Some people's bedtime. On the West Coast, we're still actually an hour before it's quitting time. So it's, what we actually want to do more of these streams going forward. And we would try to do them at different times. So hopefully we'll find something that works for everybody. Now, something new we're trying for this stream is we're putting the Matrix chat up on the screen just as an experiment. It's just a rough test. So if you're an IRC lover, don't worry, it's not done yet. We still have more work to do before we can make that transition. But we do have it up on the screen today. So part of the Bitcoin giveaway that we're doing in a little bit will require that you join our Matrix server. So hopefully that works. We'll see. It's under a lot of load because the community's been growing like crazy. But that's going to be one of the things required. So go to joinmatrix.org to get information on that. But we'll have more details soon. We have a lot to do today. We've got a special guest joining us. We've got a Bitcoin giveaway to get people started on their Boost wallets. We've got an AMA to do. All of that. So let me start by thanking Linode for sponsoring this. They made this possible. They helped out. So go to linode.com/Jupiter. That's right, linode.com/Jupiter, and give them a big Thursday thank you for helping us out with this live stream. Support these streams by visiting linode.com/Jupiter, or you can do it after the fact too if you're not watching live. Linode's what we really use to run everything that we've built in the last 2.5 years. And man, have we been using the crap out of Linode recently. It's so great how flexible it is. We tried different storage systems, local disk versus object storage versus volumes, and we've really been throwing everything at our Matrix system recently, and the flexibility of Linode and the capability to do a quick snapshot before we make some kind of devastating change. It's a real peace of mind because people take the Matrix server pretty serious now. We've created a valuable community resource, and so we don't want to screw it up. And so it's really nice to have some of the flexibility of Linode's backup and snapshot and storage systems as we're experimenting with different stuff, or to be able to just add and resize disks and RAM and stuff like that. They make it all really straightforward. And the performance is always top-notch. And they've been rolling out NVMe storage, and I didn't even know they were doing this until I was in the Linode dashboard the other day. But they're upgrading some systems to the NVMe storage for free. For total, they're just push this button if you want to migrate to NVMe PCIe super fast storage. It's so great. Linux users, I think, really can tell that the company loves and gets Linux. I mean, that's why they got into the business. And now, 19 years later, they're just the best place to host a portfolio or something that's going to be able to handle millions of users. So support this here stream. Maybe help us secure future stream support. And get yourself a $100 credit to try out Linode. That's a great deal. Linode.com/Jupiter. And thanks to Linode for sponsoring this stream. All right, so we're going to do the giveaway. But there is a series of things that I want to give you time to set up because you're going to have to get an app. You're going to have to get Matrix. And also, it's not necessarily a bad idea to get in the Mumble Room. Just in case, the Matrix takes a crap or something goes wrong. Voice communications is always the best. But additionally, when it comes to AMA time, you could always ask your question right there in the Mumble Room. So,
and it's like a super low latency, high fidelity, feed of the live stream right in your ears.
That's true. That's always a really good point. It's like the lowest latency, highest quality audio stream you can get. linuxunplugged.com/mumble for the details on that. Hey, I like that. Confetti effects on the chat room. Thanks, Tim. That's pretty great. So, Tim there just made confetti happen in our Matrix chat room. So to get on there, you can first just go get the Element chat client if you don't have it yet. Element.io/personal. And you can also get Element on FlatHub if you've got the Linux desktop, which I hope you do. And then you can get set up and going pretty quick. And you want to search for, I'm trying to think of the best way to walk people through this, but you want to look for our Jupiter Broadcasting server. So here's what I'd like people to do is start getting set up, and we'll start taking questions on how to do this. The IRC room is still being monitored, so if you want to pop in the embedded chat and ask your question before you get into Matrix, I'm going to keep an eye on that. But what I would do is I would go to element.io/personal and then create an account on matrix.org and then connect to the jupiterbroadcasting.com server. And it's we have a JB chat room over there. Now, that's a lot. So we're going to chat about a few things while you guys get that going. And then we'll check back in and see how everybody's doing. So I thought maybe we cover.
Maybe worth just saying too, if you don't, whatever, you don't feel quite ready to invest in the whole Element client. Like there's also the Element web client, which works pretty darn well. So it's like app.element.io, I think.
Great point, Wes Payne. That is a great point, Wes Payne. That is a great point. I use that all the time. It's basically the same thing, right? It is app.element.io, and then you can. You could actually connect to colony.jupiterbroadcasting.com and create an account if you'd like to do that. But I would actually recommend a matrix.org account, so that way if we ever screw up our Matrix server, I think you know what I'm saying. So before we get to that, Brentley, why don't you share with the class some of the various things you've been working on for GitHub for Jupiter Broadcasting, for like issue tracking and whatnots.
Yeah, we decided to, I guess, get the community and ourselves more involved in tracking down a bunch of bugs in our various systems. But that also includes just organizing our time. And Wes had a great idea of trying this on GitHub, which I'm not that familiar with. So it was also a great opportunity for me to kind of sink my teeth into GitHub. And I got to say, I've been sort of playing around with it. You guys must have noticed for the last few days. And there's some cool stuff happening there. So for our Nix OS challenge, there's a bunch of discussions happening there and screenshots being shared and stuff, which is great. But for other parts of JB, we have put in some issue trackers. I don't think we quite switched them to public just yet, mostly because I wanted you both gentlemen to look over it before we do that. Make sure I didn't really screw something up.
And I imagine we'll have a little bit of both, right? Some stuff that's public, some stuff that's just like internal tracking stuff for us.
Yeah, which is really great. And it's great for us because it's all in the same place with the same interface, which I've been really enjoying.
I think the key thing is we need to put like really incendiary things in our private stuff. So that way, if we ever accidentally flip it public, it's super embarrassing.
Yeah, passwords in there and everything, right?
Yeah, that's a pro
If you
tip.
don't have pressure to keep it secret, you're never going to manage to.
Right, that's right. You got to make it
I want to
risky.
be like waking up at 3 a.m. worrying about how I
Stakes.
toggle the public.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Stakeholder.
both sound like experts. So I think, we'll probably flick that public, I don't know, maybe even today, maybe tomorrow. And I'm hoping that we can get a bunch of stuff happening there, a lot of buzz going on, and hopefully help us fix a bunch of problems. I know, Chris, you're excited about maybe having some listeners and community members help us tackle certain issues that we're having, where they might have some expertise.
Definitely that, or even just maybe they observe something that we don't notice because, we're kind of close to the sun as it is. So we have our own list. Boy, do we have a list. But, it's,
Yes.
We're not on the outside, so it's like we don't interface with it externally the way the audience does, so they may catch something from their perspective that we haven't considered.
Yeah, we do get quite a bit of feedback about these kind of things when they happen. I know there's been one around memberships and the boosts that has been mentioned a few times that we still have to figure out. But I think that's actually a really nice place to send people to I guess, key us into little bugs that are happening for them, or like jblive.fm. Did we get that running again?
I don't know, actually. I put a ticket in. Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, you
So,
probably
for
go over
instance,
there. It's probably BSD now.
I put an issue in our bug tracker
There you
for
go.
that, and
There you go.
I tagged Wes because I figure he can fix it. And
Wes, fix it. All right, so if anybody's I think some people may be having problems joining Matrix, which I expected. That's why we're taking our time with this. We're not in a rush.
That's why we're here.
So probably if you'd be willing to join the Mumble Room and help us diagnose, that'd probably be the most effective approach. So again, linuxunplug.com/mumble for that information. And then also, if you're just like a total noob to Matrix and you're kind of curious about like what's the difference between running your own server versus using a matrix.org account, or how do you join other rooms, or all that, or why even use Matrix over something like Telegram? If you've been wondering about that stuff, go to joinmatrix.org. It's a kind of recent website that's pretty concise, and it kind of walks you through that basic kind of stuff that I think is pretty reasonable to ask. They call it a platform for the people, by the people. They say, imagine a place where you are welcome to be yourself, where you have control of your data, and where you can talk more privately, while also allowing you to socialize with others. And that's really kind of key, right? Because you have these public rooms that are unencrypted, and then you have these private rooms that are encrypted right next to each other in one interface. It's really great. And I've been using Matrix more and more the last few weeks just because it's really grown. I think we have nearly 2,000 users, not necessarily all with accounts on our server. I think it's probably less than half the people have accounts on our server. We haven't gotten the numbers yet, but I would guess 30% maybe create accounts on our server, maybe less. And then there's a real high mix of people that have a matrix.org account, or they have created like a home server that they just use for themselves. But Wes,
we were doing some troubleshooting and upgrading and maintenance and all manner of things to the server. And as part of that in the logs, we got to see like a partial list of all the various names of the home servers connected in. It is an amazing, diverse, hilarious, clever list of host names that the audience has.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good chuckle at a lot of them.
It's really funny, too, because I didn't realize it kept a list. But what were we looking at? We were looking at my login session. We were watching my login session sync down. So it's like people who have PM'd me. It's not the contents of the message, but it's the domain name of their Matrix server. And there's a lot of really good ones in there. A lot of people, I think, are just experimenting and trying this. We've been looking at ways of adding capacity. We're trying to quickly. Wes, you've been digging into workers and all of that kind of stuff. What do you feel like is like the last big change you did recently that's probably getting us the most bang for the buck?
Well, for the moment, we've turned off use presence on the home server, and then we also set up a generic worker. So we've got the main Synapse process, and then we've also got a secondary worker, so they can kind of split the load, and the worker can do a bunch of the client and federation things, and Synapse can do basically everything else.
Yeah, that's so sweet. That is so sweet. Now, if you're chatting, I see people are chatting on YouTube. Hello, everybody, and on Twitch. Okay, all right, good. We're going to get some people joining us in the Mumble Room in a little bit. We're not actively monitoring the chats on Twitch and YouTube because we're trying to use the Matrix chat as an experiment today. So what you see up on stream plus the IRC is what I'm monitoring. But, we still glad you're here, even if you're not in one of those chat rooms. And I'll try to check in on the other chat rooms from time to time. Yeah, Wes has been working hard. We're going to talk more about our plans to basically fix the fact that we set this Matrix server up mostly as a science experiment for Linux Unplugged to learn about Matrix and to experiment with building a Matrix server and get insights to what that's like. And, well, basically, it's turned into something that's actually used in production. And yeah, so now we need to take it a little more seriously is basically where we're at. And we're going to now look at redesigning this thing and making a more production grade setup out of it. I think we're going to chat a little bit more about that in Linux Unplugged this Sunday, so because we'll have a better idea by then. So we'll get it figured out. So just as a reminder, if you're just joining us, join our Matrix system. Probably the most straightforward way would be to go to app.element.io and then create an account on matrix.org. And then join the colony.jupiter broadcasting Matrix server. You can also create an account on colony.jupiterbroadcasting.com. It's just not guaranteed to be around forever. So what I started working on this week is the 2022 JB road trip plan.
What?
This sounds very exciting.
I am very excited, but I really,
Tell us more.
I don't know exactly where to go. So it'll be just...
Oh, I have one.
It'll be a little bit after the East Coast meetups. We'll have just been to the East Coast because that's coming up. But what do you think, Brent?
Well, we've been toying around with the idea of going to see JPL for the last 6 months or so.
Oh, you're
Would that be...
right.
can I put a vote in for that?
You know, my instinct, despite the cost of gasoline and RV parks in California, I was kind of thinking California because it's been a couple of years. We'll have just been on the East Coast. There's JPL, and we could possibly time it around scale.
That would be exciting. I've never been.
That might make the most sense. It's like a JB road trip to scale.
Oh, right. It's sort of us coming back to conferences in person, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it would be
With a
after
bang.
is scale it's like in September maybe? I think it'd be after peak heat, but I can't recall exactly. That's what I care
Did you
about.
write yourself notes about peak heat last year?
Well, I
Was it
just
September?
really don't want to make that mistake again.
You were traveling in September, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was record-breaking
Oh.
hot. It was
Rubik Man says, "How about going to Canada?"
I'd love to go to Alaska, but I
Hey.
think I need a different rig for that. That's what I'd love to do.
July. So.
Oh, okay. So
closer
maybe
to
do we
peak
not have
heat.
this? Is this room not open? No, this room should be open. Our JB chat room should be open to folks that aren't on. There's tons of people in there that aren't from our server, but
Yeah,
people
just
are.
someone scroll by there.
Some peeps be saying that they are getting like the "nah, you can't come in here" error messages. Nah, you can't come in here error messages. But I don't see nothing in here that says nothing about nothing in regards to that. But you know, this is a experiment, as they say. I don't know.
What I
Wes, if
appreciate
you-
about this
got
is that
elements
we're
about
learning
that.
just as much as they
Oh
are.
yeah. Oh jeez. I know I'm learning more about workers than I ever wanted to. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, you're going to be a Python expert soon.
Oh, come on now. Who can read history? All right, I'm going to say anyone. Maybe that's what the issue is people haven't. Maybe it's they need. All right, so I'm changing that to anyone can read history, and perhaps that will change it. All right, continue to try it, my friends. We shall see.
Uh-oh. People are now trying to just sign up to our server to try to solve that problem.
We got more and more people in the old Mumble Room there. Hello, Mumble Room. Good to see people coming in.
Hello, hello. I was just connecting to Element again, and it takes ages.
Yeah.
So to connect to the
does.
JB.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. So you have to boost that server a little bit. I mean, there is that company called Linode. You know that one? I guess.
But I think that's
that one
partly
could
why
help
we're
you a little
recommending
bit.
that people sign up with matrix.org. They might speed that up.
But it is. Yeah, it's just so the short version is Synapse, the back end of Matrix, is pretty single threaded. So you could have, like in our case, a 6-core rig, but it's only using one core. And then what they've done in the last few releases is they have developed this thing called workers. And there's a lot of different workers. And each worker, there's like maybe a category for these workers, you know, a federation syncing, all kinds of different stuff, all the things that Matrix is responsible for. And some of them have like, you know, maybe there's like 6 or 7 workers you could configure for federation syncing and federation communications. And each one of those workers requires its own set of configurations. You know, you look at it and it is very possible to split this thing up into a multi-threaded beast of performance, but you're kind of doing all of the plumbing yourself, and you can mess that up on a production system and break it. But what Wes did last night, late into the night, was do some basic plumbing. And what, do we have 2 workers now, Wes, or 3 workers? I should probably let you talk about the details, but now we have some workers in there taking the load off of the main thread. That's
Yeah,
not
we did
great.
kind of just start in the plumbing direction. So it's kind of like, okay, can we get from a entirely just basically running a database in Synapse to having this more split out architecture? So we have not gone all the way down the path that we probably will end up going. So right now, yeah, it's the one sort of original main process that we started with, and then for a bunch of URLs that match regexes that the Synapse project provides, those get filtered out and sent to our quote generic worker, which can do a whole bunch of the various things that, as you said, that Synapse has to do to sort of implement the Matrix protocol.
And then one of the other things we could do is we could start doing more like specific workers to improve sync time, and Nginx reverse proxies to take the HTTP load off of the main thread. I still think like the bulk of the work is probably being done by the main thread though. But it's way better.
Yeah, and I think, as we can, as you said, we've got some good number of processors in this box, so I think there's still some room to go in that direction, and we haven't really, gotten as deep into the areas of understanding the actual performance levels of Synapse as well. Like they do, there's a lot of logs that come out of that thing. They've also got some Prometheus metrics that you can hook into. There's an admin UI that we want to play with. So there's like a lot of those things. So we're pretty early in the journal of understanding.
Yep.
Like, how does this thing actually behave now that we have so many people? And when there's so much conversation, you can kind of like, you have to just grep through a lot of stuff to even get to the point of like, can I see myself logging in over here?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. And so we're looking into it, and we're also going to look into like hardware changes we could do. Nev suggests that I come to Ohio Linux Fest and tempts me by saying that I could swing by and we could do some work on Jupes. That sounds pretty tempting. Eric says that Scale is July 28th. That's going to be hot.
Sounds hot.
That sounds hot. That
sounds really hot.
You could always get a passport and come here.
Hey, hello. Well, can I bring Lady Jupes?
Hey,
Can I bring Lady Jupes?
does she fly?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a.
Stick some floats on it.
Are you out walking right now? Paint a picture for us.
Yeah, of course. I'm out walking, looking for the foxes. Haven't seen any yet.
It's midnight over there. So it's
hear
probably
sirens.
And sounds
Yeah.
of London.
downtown London live. That's awesome. That's great. All right, I think we're getting more people in here. Holy crap, look at all this. All right, anybody in the Mumble Room having problems getting connected right now? I see we've had some people pile in there. But, oh, good. Good. All right, very good. Well, that's awesome. Thanks, everybody.
So Eric says that
So,
he can now see the history with the Matrix account, but he can't actually get into the group and chat.
Oh, we got to get in there and chat.
is very
So
curious.
I'm going to need your Lightning address to send you sats. So you got to be able to get in there. You know
Yes,
what?
Just Chris,
Yeah.
just for a note, I have a lot of new first timers here on the on-air room, and
Oh,
most
great.
of them are in fact connected to Matrix. So when it comes to Chris Last Space, Mum have a good eye on Matrix.
Oh, yeah. Right. Very good. All right. So we do have. So, okay. Yeah. Look. Okay. I'm going through here. I'm checking the receipts, and here's what I'm seeing. I'm doing the math, and like, here's Murph in here. Murph's connected from the matrix.org home server. I'm looking at Austin here. Austin is like connected to some custom server. Well, he just logged off, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't, now I'm looking at Green Moth there. Green Moth, he's on matrix.org. So there's propaganda out there that you can't come in. It's propaganda. That's not even real. It may be we have some permission wrong. If any of us are an element expert, anybody an element expert that knows the UI, my problem is the damn UI. Here's the thing about Matrix, and I've got to be totally upfront about this. It is still rough around the edges. There are multiple clients in the works. Some of them are like native GTK or Qt. Some of them are Electron as well. It's not fully polished. Element is probably the most functional with the biggest team behind it. But as I have started using it more and more over the last few weeks, I've really come to appreciate the interconnected of it. I'm chatting with people on their own home servers. I'm in a chat with some Red Hatters that there's a Red Hat Matrix now. A lot of open source projects have come on. The GNOME developers are all on Matrix now. It's getting more and more popular in the free software community. It's also getting more popular in our community, and it's at that stage that remember how Google Plus was like this for a really long time, where it was like Linus Torvalds and Greg KH and like really great contributors to your Google Plus feed, and it was way better than Twitter once the normals got there. That's where Matrix is right now. Or it's like Twitter was back in the early days before the normals got there.
Yeah, right.
It's just
Nerdy stuff.
Yeah. And it's nice too, because while Telegram is really great for like mobile communication, and it has served us super well, and we have a Telegram group still going at jupiterbroadcasting.com/Telegram. The nice thing that Matrix can do is that Discord style or that Slack style individual channels. So like, all of the coder chat is in the coder radio room, and all of the Linux unplugged chat is in the LUP feedback room, and all the Bitcoin stuff's in the Bitcoin room, and all the Nix stuff, because we're doing the Nix challenge right now, is in the Nix room. And that's why we sent people to the Nix room and not Telegram. Because what we find is we like when we have a topic on a show, we're sitting there yucking on a show about something, and then everybody just comes in and they blast the Telegram group, which, fine, we'd like to hear from them, but people in the Telegram group don't necessarily like it just totally dominating the conversation. So here we can split it off. But because it's decentralized, you can have your own home server, you could be on matrix.org, you could create an account on ours, and when one of them goes offline, your experience continues to go. And there's not anybody that's going to shut us down or anything like that. It's just going to be us. If anything. So, yeah, it's still rough. It's not great. But neither was the early internet. You know, back in my day, the best thing about the early internet was that Netscape had little stars shooting over the end. And the rest of it was total junk, right? I'm telling you, like, it gets better from here. And they've made steady progress on Element. And the fact that they have the web app, too, I don't know, I find that makes it really compelling. I think it makes it really nice. Because then you can open it up in a tab like I have today, and I can just throw it up on the live stream or something. So, if you can, get that set up. But I'll tell you what, if it doesn't end up working, we also have the IRC as fallback. So don't worry, you'll still get some sats if you want to participate, but we are trying to do it in the Matrix room because we want to experiment with that. Plus, honestly, I'm just curious how far we can push this thing. Because man, is it on the edge right now. So let's see what happens when a live stream jumps on there and really bangs on this thing. And if
I know one.
Go ahead.
I know one issue we've had in the past was with latency, and I don't know if I'm seeing that now. So some
it's
of
better.
Wes's magic must have helped that.
It helped. Yeah. It definitely helped. And we have more work to do, but it definitely helped. I think it's one of those problems, and I bet you tell me what you think, Wes. But it feels like one of those problems where there's a couple of low-hanging fruit things you could do, but the net performance gain is going to be in finding nearly all the optimizations we can take reasonably.
Yeah, you know, we just have there's so much to learn, and Matrix and Synapse have moved so fast in just the past few releases, the past year or two since we started deploying it. You know, workers coming online, a lot of the docs changing, or practices changing, or APIs, and I think we also really need to get familiar with like more of the database schema, so we can get our database maintenance on point and figure out stuff like retention policies and how, you know, what settings need to be tuned. None of which we've really explored. I mean, you know, little pieces here or there, but there's a lot of knobs to turn.
As we started looking more and more into it, I was like, you know what this feels like? It feels like it's as complex as Exchange was. It's like learning Exchange 5.5 and Exchange 2003. It feels like running an Exchange server, which is not necessarily a good thing. I don't know. I should probably just mention that we have the April 9th meetup just around the corner. I've actually got my bags to start packing. So that is just around the corner if you are in that neck of the woods, April 9th. Now, okay, here's the giveaway details. Here's what you need to know. You need to get in our Matrix room. We have the JB chat, the general chat room. You can grab our Mumble details at linuxunplug.com/mumble if you've got any questions about that. And here's the other critical piece. You need a new podcasting app. You need a podcasting 2.0 app that has the Lightning Wallet. So you can go to newpodcastingapps.com. That's newpodcastingapps.com. And you get yourself a new podcast app. I really like Fountain FM because it has an Android client and an iOS client. But if you're just on iOS, Cast-O-Matic is great. It has CarPlay, and it's iOS specific. I've been enjoying Fountain FM. It has a unique UI where they surface clipped podcasts. They really focus on the clips. And I've actually discovered a couple of new podcasts that way. So that's what I've been enjoying about Fountain. You'll get one of these apps, and then you'll have a Lightning Wallet in there. In Cast-O-Matic, you have to subscribe to a podcast, and you have to actually bring up the play page. And in the little boost area, there's a gear icon to get your wallet. On Fountain FM, the wallet's pretty obvious. But here's what I'd like you to do is go get one of these apps. Pick the one that works best for you. There's some web apps as well at newpodcastapps.com. Locate your Lightning payment address because you're going to invoice me. And I'm going to send you 1,000 sats. So you got to get this invoicing thing figured out. And then you send me it, and I will pay it. And that'll get your wallet set up with 1,000 sats so you can start boosting podcasts that support value for value and get you going out there. So either one of those apps or the web apps can do this for you. So go get that now, newpodcastapps.com. Fountain FM is the one I've been recommending. And while you guys get that set up and you get in the Matrix room, I kind of have a nice treat for us. Something I had a just one of those opportunities, something just kind of clicked. And I got to sit down with the developer of Fountain FM, Oscar Mary, who's also in London, and he joins us now. So I got to start with what is probably the number one question on my mind. I think Fountain is one of the more exciting apps in a while. And when I started going through it, I realized this is actually a pretty complicated app that has a lot of screens, that does a lot of things. This is a huge project. And I bet a lot of people who use a podcast app kind of think it's a simple thing. Oh, it's no big deal. It just pulls down the RSS feeds and plays an MP3 file. How hard could that be? Why did you want to take on a crazy project like this when there's a pretty good handful of podcast apps out there now?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I think I'm a massive fan of podcasts. And one of the things that I have a strong belief in is that there's incredible insight and wisdom that's locked away in podcast content. And there's a few issues with the format in the sense that, number one, most people that are really into podcasts, just have too many in their feed to even listen to. So I probably have about 8 to 10 hours of podcast content that shows up in my feed every single day. And I'm never going to be able to get to that content. But there's probably incredible stuff in there that I'd love to listen to. So one of the things we're trying to do with Fountain is actually make it easy for listeners to actually surface the best moments in the episodes and share those moments with their friends, family, or just people that they know. So what we've done is we've given the listener the ability to create and share clips within Fountain. And we've done this by using the actual word by word transcript, such that you don't have to mess around editing an audio wave on your mobile device where there's not much screen. You can actually just select the text of the transcript that you want, and that makes it much, much easier to actually create a clip. We also have social features on Fountain, which means that if you follow me on Fountain and I create a clip, you'll see that appear on your home screen the next time you open the app. So yeah, we're really just trying to solve the problem of allowing people to surface the best moments from podcasts, just because we believe that there's so much great content out there. And another example of this is the back catalog, right? If you discover a new show, you know, a lot of shows have hundreds of episodes in the back catalog. Like, how are you supposed to go back through that and figure out what a good episode might be? Well, what we also have on Fountain is clip playlists. So you can actually take clips that either you've created or someone else has created, stick them in a playlist, and then people can go and browse those. And if they find a clip that they like, which might be a minute long, they can then go and click through to the episode and listen to the full episode. So yeah, we're trying to make it easier to discover and share great moments from podcasts.
Boy, I love that. Obviously, as a longtime podcaster, I felt like the shareability of YouTube videos really, really showed us where podcasting was lacking in a feature. And I think what you guys have done with the share feature, the clip feature, is it's nice. You know, it has the album art on there. It has waveform on there. It looks presentable, like you could actually share it on social media or YouTube, or you could just listen to it in the app. And I like that. But you said something in there that I wanted to ask you further about. You mentioned that you're enabling this with transcript. So is the app doing transcript on device? Is that happening in the cloud? Is that part of the new podcasting 2.0 spec? Like, how is that being done? Because this is like one of those out there early features that Fountain has. It seems like all apps are going to want to have this one day.
Yeah, 100%. So right now we are actually using a commercial transcription service. We're doing that in the cloud. And the reason we're doing that is because we need a special format of transcript that actually has the word by word timestamps. And that's what allows us to give the listener the ability to just select the bits of text they want. You can even edit out, you know, sentences if you want to make a more succinct clip, which we think is really important because, again, if you have a 2-hour long podcast episode, when somebody is saying something, they're assuming that the person hearing what they're saying has heard the previous thing. So sometimes it's useful to cut up the clip a little bit. So yeah, we're using a commercial transcription service. It does cost us, and that's why if you create a clip on Fountain, you will see that there's a slight delay as we process that transcription. We do hope to get the word by word timestamp format in the actual open standard, such that podcast hosts can actually add that, and then yeah, any app will be able to use it.
Yeah, that was my next thought. It's like that. If that became a universal thing and more podcast apps took advantage of that, I would start feeling compelled as a podcaster to start coming up with a way to automate transcriptions. It's something we've talked about as a group for a long time, but there's just never really been the right technology. So I love the clips, and I think it was a bold choice for the app to open up to the Discover page that shows clips right away, because I have to say, as a new user at first, I was like, oh, I don't want this. I want my podcasts. Until the day I actually discovered a new podcast from the clips. And then I was like, oh, I get it. But that's still like, you're really putting this clip feature and this social aspect of it pretty front and forward. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's definitely, a lot of users have, asked, I would love to have the podcast tab as the default tab. I think the way we think about it is over time, as we, build up the social graph a little bit. Right now, if you're a brand new user, you're not going to be following anyone, and, you're just going to get popular clips which may not interest you. But I do think over time, it's actually fascinating to get that window into someone else's podcast listening, because podcast listening is actually quite it's quite an individual thing. You listen to podcasts normally on your own, and even your closest friends and family, you won't necessarily know what they're listening to or what they've listened to this week or anything like that. And it's actually fascinating to just, get that window into what other people have found interesting that week and what they've clipped.
Yeah, and there is just so many podcasts out there. It really makes discovering a new podcast difficult, and the best signal is when somebody you know or somebody you follow says, "Hey, this is worth a listen." Like that's the most valuable kind of endorsement in podcasting there is, and so it's cool to see it baked in.
One thing is that right now, in every single podcast app, really the only way that you can listen to an episode is if you follow the show. And there's a lot of shows out there that I'm just not going to be interested enough in that topic to actually follow and want to see every episode that comes through the feed. But that doesn't mean that, if there's one particular episode that's incredible and is about a story that actually does interest me, that doesn't mean I don't want to listen to that one episode maybe. And by seeing the signal from somebody that you follow, they've created a clip, or maybe they've boosted it a certain amount. That's a great signal for me to go and look at that episode and maybe add it to my feed just individually.
Yeah, it's a whole new kind of metric, and it's way more valuable than anything else I've ever had for discovering podcasts. At first, I was sort of resistant to the whole social aspect of it. I'm like, no, this is a private thing. And initially I just used the app that way. But then when I started telling the audience about it and they started following me, I started realizing, oh, they might actually be interested in some of the clips I want to share and stuff like that. And so it really opened my eyes to it. But you said something there I want to talk about now. The other really cutting edge feature you're doing here is value for value support with boostograms and lightning payments. That actually, I think, is maybe one of the biggest leading features of Fountain, because it creates a real incentive for people to start sharing the app. So did you get into Fountain with the idea to implement lightning from the very get-go, or did that come along as you were looking at compelling features?
Yeah, so we didn't actually have that idea at the start. We started with the problem of how do we surface the best moments from podcasts that I've already talked about. But one of the interesting things was I've been a massive believer in Bitcoin for many, many years, and I've followed it very closely. And so when we started following what Adam and Dave were doing with Podcasting 2.0, as soon as we saw the value for value spec in there and saw what was happening with the Lightning Network, especially with the adoption that we've seen over the past couple of years, it was an absolute no-brainer for us. And we made a decision very quickly to double down on it and make it like a key feature of Fountain, because, we think that, personally, we believe it's the future of the world's monetary network. And, we've seen in the past 6 months, Cash App have rolled it out to all of their US users. So this thing is growing every month. And I think it's something that apps, not just in podcasting, but, many more apps that are on your phone are going to have some kind of Lightning aspect to them in the future.
If I were starting Jupiter Broadcasting today, I absolutely would be really focused on this, because one of the things you can do with the spec is you can do splits. So I could have a little bit of each boost go to my co-hosts. I could have it go to my editor. I could have it go to my hosting provider. I can have it go to the index. I can have it go to you. It's such a essentially automatic system. B, fully transparent, because it's all documented right there by the host, by the audience. Like, if the contract is the code, and it means that we can incentivize hosts to really spend time, like take hours out of their week to work on this over time. Like, I think it's going to be huge for future shows. And I wondered, have you grasped like the depth of enablement this could be for the medium? Like, this, I think, is maybe bigger even than podcasting.
Yeah, 100%. It's incredibly exciting. And I think the splits is one of the most powerful features of the value block. And it hasn't even, especially the episode level splits haven't even really been adopted that much at this point, because this is all very new. To your average podcaster that maybe doesn't know much about Bitcoin or Lightning, maybe doesn't know much about tech, it's already a big ask to try and convince them to, Lightning enable their show, create a podcaster wallet. Like, that's the first step. And then to start talking about, okay, episode level splits and, different Lightning node pub keys in the splits for different guests and producers. There's a lot in here, but 100% I agree with you. Over time, there's so much there's so many creative things we can actually do with the splits. So, for example, one of the things that I think about a lot is, if you're interviewing someone on your show that has an amazing cause or an amazing open source project or whatever it is, you can actually say to your audience, who you've built up all of this trust with over the years as a podcast host, you can say to them, hey guys, if you want to support this cause, you don't have to do anything different to what you already do. Just send a boost, and 50%, 60%, or 100% will go to that guest and support that cause. So I think there's so much we can do there.
Yeah, that's my dream. Is I believe that, and I think a lot of people who are involved in podcasting 2.0 probably see this as well. I think the podcasting landscape is shifting for independent content. 50% of weekly listeners are now consolidated into just 4 or 5 podcast apps. It's getting really thick out there. And then you combine like some censorship issues that can crop up because things change over time. And this value for value model solves all of that. And the Lightning payment system is the missing piece that I think was always kind of necessary. I've seen a lot of resistance to PayPal and other systems like that. So that's really exciting. And I think it's huge, and I think it could be ginormous for free software, because imagine if the JB audience, over time, we get 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people or more on the Lightning Network, and then the VLC app comes online, or OBS comes onto the Lightning Network. Like, they're going to immediately have support. It's going to be huge. The network effect is going to be valuable. But it seems like the tricky part is getting people on board right now. This is the number one thing that is tricky, because if you've never bought Bitcoin, if you've never got into this ecosystem at all, but now you feel compelled to support, how do you even solve this problem for most people, Oscar? Because it's very complicated. It involves multiple apps and identifying yourself to some financial services in some cases. It's a thick, tricky process right now.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely the biggest problem now that's limiting adoption. And yeah, it's a struggle. I think a couple of things. So I'll explain how we recommend you get started in a second. But first, I'll just say that what gives me optimism around this problem is that it's not just Fountain. It's not even just podcasting 2.0. It's not even just podcasting that's going to be trying to solve this problem. Every single app is adopting Lightning. And so, yeah, Cash App just onboarded 65 million people in the US who now have access to Lightning on their main, payment app. So these onboarding challenges are being solved not even by us. Every month, a new company will add an integration. And so eventually we'll get to the point where, someone will see a Lightning invoice in an app and they'll just instantly know, yeah, okay, I know how to do that. And the app to app integrations will start being offered as well. So you don't even have to copy the Lightning invoice across. You can just say pay with Lightning and it will just open up Cash App, give you a confirmation, and you're done.
And the thing I think to stress there too is it's an open network. So if you buy Bitcoin in the Cash App, you can move it to the Fountain app, or if you want to take some money out of your Fountain app, you could move it back to another app because it's all an open protocol and an open network.
Exactly, which is the amazing thing about it, which, it drives competition. It means that at the end of the day, the consumer's going to have a better experience because they can always just move their funds to any app. So it's so easy to switch between services.
Yes. Oh, finally. So now, how are you recommending people get on board right now? Like, what has been the smoothest process that you've seen?
Yeah, so right now, what we recommend is, so you've downloaded the Fountain app and you want to get some Bitcoin, some sats in Fountain for the first time. What we recommend is using an app called Blue Wallet, which is available internationally. And on Blue Wallet, you can actually buy Bitcoin with Apple Pay. So that's like the easiest way to do it. Download Blue Wallet, buy Bitcoin on the Lightning Network with Apple Pay, and then you can transfer it back into Fountain. Again, it's still quite a convoluted process, and we're hoping to, at some point, have the ability to actually, what I'd love is the ability to buy Bitcoin within Fountain. But once we offer that, we go down a path of, financial regulations and all of that, which at the end of the day, we are a podcast app. So I don't think we want to be doing that.
Yeah, that can get pretty tricky pretty quick. And the great thing about it is people could go the traditional route. Like you said, they could go Blue Wallet. In the US, I've been telling people Strike is a really easy way to do it. Those are traditional financial apps.
Yeah, Strike's great in the US.
Yeah. But you could go the route of like meet a guy in an alley and, sell him straight some cash for Bitcoin. Like there's the whole spectrum of options for ways people could go. But I personally think it would be incredible to do like either a Google Pay or an Apple Pay in the Fountain app to charge up the wallet. But I totally get, maybe why you'd want to avoid that. The other thing too is I kind of consider a Lightning wallet like a checking account. Like I don't keep very much in there. I keep like a spending amount of money in a Lightning wallet. And Blue Wallet is a fantastic app because if later on you want to go to the self-hosting side of Bitcoin, maybe deploy like Umbrel or something like that, it's real easy to connect that Blue Wallet app up to a self-hosted Umbrel box too. So I love it for that kind of stuff. All right, so we've talked about the clips and we've talked about the transcription that's in the clips and we've talked about boostograms. Can we just kind of spend a minute on comments? Because these just recently rolled out in the app. And this is also kind of like an area of a lot of debate right now in podcasting 2.0 is should we use Lightning for comments or ActivityPub or whatever. And Fountain has pushed ahead and gone right to Lightning comments. So now when someone sends a boost, unless they choose it to be private, that boost will actually show up in the podcast when you're listening. You can see other people's boosts now. And I think this has the potential to kind of create like a new cross-app comments platform.
Yeah, so for me, I have a very strong belief that making boosts public, obviously with the user's consent, adds so much to the podcast listening experience for a few reasons. First off, I talked earlier about how we're enabling listeners to create clips so that you, as a listener, get a signal about which episodes are actually valuable to go and listen to. Well, viewing somebody else's boost is an even better signal, potentially, because not only does it have a comment, probably thanking the host for the episode or, asking a question or clarifying something, that's a signal about how good that episode was. But because there's a financial value attached to that comment, that's an incredibly even higher signal. So, for example, if I follow you on Fountain and I know that your average boost is around 2,000 sats, and then one day I see you pull out a 50,000 sat boost on an episode, I'm going to think to myself, hold on a minute, and a really long comment saying, oh my God, thank you so much. This episode was incredible. I learned so much. I'm going to think to myself, okay, hold on a minute. This is an episode that I need to go and pay attention to. So maybe I'll click through to the episode screen. Maybe I'll read some of the other boosts. And that, at the end of the day, is just going to drive discovery for the podcaster and a better listening experience for the listener. So that's why we believe that having Boost public and allowing interaction through Lightning is, that's why we think it's so good. I know there is some contention around, which is the right protocol to use for cross-app comments. And I would also say that we're open to, trying out different things and combining protocols. I think the reason we went ahead and just, put this out there was just to test it. We've been testing it for a few weeks in beta and people were loving it. So I think it just makes the listener experience better and also drives discovery for the podcaster and helps them get paid more as well. Because if you go onto the episode screen and you see that the top boost is for 50,000 sats, are you going to boost 500 or are you going to boost closer to 50,000? So at the end of the day, podcasters, if you publicize the top boost, you're going to get paid more.
Yeah, I suppose so. So I've switched over. It is now my primary app, and so I got to do the thing where I ask for that one specific feature that I want. But I actually have heard from a couple of members in the audience too. How far off, or even likely, is something like CarPlay support and Android Auto for Fountain?
Yeah, so CarPlay is actually our number one requested feature, and so it will be coming soon. We've actually done a little bit of work on it, but what we found was, what was it? I'll just say it's coming very soon. And I would also say if anyone's listening who, has tried out Fountain and, wants something changed, like we're really open to we're going to build whatever people want, basically. So please do. We have a built-in feedback tool in the app, so you can use that, or you can just send me an email, oscar@fountain.fm. And we've got a lot coming, but CarPlay is definitely on the roadmap and should be available soon.
That's exciting. I was hoping that would be the answer. Well, Oscar, thank you so much for the hard work. Thank you. Anyone else who's involved? I'm not sure if it's a big team or not, or a small team, but thank you regardless. It's been a long time since I've had a podcast app I'm this excited about. So keep up the great work, and we'll be sending people to Fountain. It's great. All right, I see people getting in that Matrix room. Look at everybody showing up. Excellent. Very good. All right, so get your app. I also have to say I really like Cast-O-Matic too. If you go to newpodcastapps.com and you filter on the boost, you'll see there's even some decent web apps, which I never really considered using to listen to podcasts at first.
Whoa, that's an idea, yeah.
But you know what? Like a part of a thing, I want my podcast app to have web playback because sometimes I want to finish it up at my desk, That's a nice feature.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe the web podcast apps do make some sense, and people have been sending us boosts from the web app, so people are using them. So all the apps are listed at newpodcastapps.com. But it was really nice of Oscar to take a minute to join me because it was just sort of a last-minute random idea. And I did get a little scoop that CarPlay is in the works for Fountain FM. So that is coming soon to Fountain FM, and I think Android Auto as well. That's the nice thing about Fountain is it's cross-platform. The nice thing about Cast-O-Matic, it's iOS only, but it also does things like iCloud Sync, and it'll import from several other podcast apps, and it'll import an OPML feed too, which Fountain does not do.
Aww.
Yeah.
All right, we better make a request, huh?
Yeah, actually, Oscar's very open to ideas. And like one of the things they just recently rolled out, which you heard us talking about there at the end, is the comments. So now that people who boost and use Fountain, you all can see your comments. So if you go look in LUP, there's a half a dozen or a dozen boosted comments in there. So let's kick this thing off. And if you'd like to join me, because these are going to be up on the screen, they're going to be in the Matrix chat. If you're feeling generous and you want to boost along with us, match my boost, go for it. So here's what I'm asking everybody to do. Go either into Fountain or into Cast-O-Matic or whatever your new podcast app is, and generate me a Lightning invoice. And then Brent's going to keep track of them. Don't paste the graphic because I'm not using a phone here. I'm using a what's called a personal computer. I'm using a desktop computer
with a mouse.
Yeah.
And a keyboard.
And I want to highlight the lightning address, and I can tell if it's a lightning address or not. I want to highlight the lightning address, and I want to paste it into my thing, and I want to send you some sats. So if you want to get my sats, I don't want the picture. I want the lightning address. And what we're going to do is Brent's going to collect them all, and we'll go through, and we'll give them away until I'm out. I got a few $100s worth of sats that I'm giving away, and we'll just keep going. Generated 2,000 or 1,000. Either way, I'll pay it. Depends. We'll see how far it goes. But I'm hoping other people might want to generate a few payments from home too. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they won't. But remember, in some apps, you have to actually have like the podcast up to get that boost button and get that payment information. So it's the best way to do it would be to subscribe to one of our podcasts, because they all support Lightning, except for the All Shows feed. Does not yet, but it will. And then you'll get the button. And you can then send us a Lightning one. Put it in the Matrix, in the JB General chat. Give us the text version, so that way Brent can collect it, and we'll start sending them out. And while you're getting that figured out, we'll just sort of chat and hang out, because we're not in a rush today. That's why we did a live stream and not a show. So you're also, welcome to send us questions, join the Mumble Room. Ask us things there. Looks like people who are having trouble, though, connecting were able to get in. That's kind of what the logic was with that interview, was to give everybody a moment to get it all set up.
Give it a moment.
Yeah.
Give our server a moment. Yeah, and, we're just trying to take it slow today.
Right. I'm reading the feedback coming in. We got a live boost as I'm got live boost as I'm reading this. They're also, the new podcasting apps are working on live streaming, audio live streaming in the podcast app, which is really cool. Not there yet, but it's getting there. How you doing, Brent? Are you over there collecting lightning addresses like a madman?
There's a lot of stuff coming in. I just want to put out there, if I somehow miss your address, please get in contact with me. I don't know how that's going to work, but
Let them know. You could always
if for some reason you don't see any.
So,
yeah.
You know what I'm going to do?
So I'm seeing them come in, but I know our server, is missing some messages here and there. So I'm going to try my best to get everybody.
Yeah.
But if for some reason you feel like I might have missed you, just DM me or something. Not
Coach.
now. Wait a few hours. But
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send some sats to Rubicman right there, or however you say it. I have no idea how they actually say it. But there we go. We now have, I've just given
You're
away.
sending the sats, so you think you get to choose how to say it.
Oh, I like that. That's great, Wes. Man, I like it. I like the way you think. All right, so then this next one I'm also going to butcher. I'm going to butcher. These are rough, guys. These are rough. I'm sending 2,000 sats to Alkerny. That's right. I'm going to do it. There we go.
I was thinking Al Carney.
Al Carney? Yeah, okay. Oh, now this is nice. Look at this. How about this one? Very simple, very straightforward. I appreciate this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send some sats to Jody. This is fun. I could do this all day. I'm going to send 2,000 sats to Jody. There you go, Jody. You just got boosted. Now, somebody in there is calling themselves Joe. Hopefully it's the actual Joe, but it could be somebody trying to get on my good side, just calling themselves Joe. But either way, you know what? I'm going to send them 2,000 sats. That's what I'm going to do. Done. Oh, boy, this is a lot of fun. Oh, okay. This next one makes me think about Prospector Chris. So I like this one, too. It's also very pronounceable. The next person I'm giving away some sats to is Yosemite Sam. Yosemite Sam, you're going to get 2,000 sats. This is good. I need like a monkey in here clapping or something. I need some kind of, there you go, everybody. That's a lot of monkeys. That's a lot of monkeys.
You really are the Oprah of crypto nonsense, Chris.
You get a sat and you get a sat.
They were under your seat the whole time.
I like it. All right, you know what I'm going to do? Persistent. If that's how you say it, probably not. You get 2,000 sats. There you go. Brent, you're doing great. You're doing really good. You're keeping up pretty good. So we're just keeping an eye on the
I
Matrix.
can't top while keying in here. This is we're seeing a lot of action. I love it.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Oh, good. NorCal Dad's here. NorCal Dad, I'm tempted to come down to California. Tempted. I wish I could I wanted to be able to do Ohio Linux Fest and scale. I don't know about that. Problem with Ohio.
Okay, I
is
see.
so far.
I see in the chat, Durban, you've sent some. Looks like a part of an address, but not the whole thing. So if you want to send it again, we're looking for Lightning addresses. I don't know, maybe it says BC, so that might be a Bitcoin address. So
It's totally understandable.
The cool thing about the Lightning network is that it's actually being routed right to the studio direct.
Yeah. So let's send some to NorCal Dad. Pow! NorCal Dad gets 1,000 sats. Pow! That's awesome. So get your whole, they're long, and you know they're a Lightning address because it starts with LN, and that's how you know. LNB. And if it starts with anything other than that, it's not a Lightning address. You know, while we were doing the interview, I saw somebody say, I think it was Austin. Austin reminded us in the Matrix room that Matrix is the protocol. Matrix is like HTTP, right? Synapse is the server. That's the backend that we use. And Element is the client. So it's like the web browser. That's your Firefox. And we just kind of casually say Matrix server. It's, because I think that's just what everybody kind of refers to. I don't know. Our bad, I guess. But so just to make that clear, there's like 3 layers there. The nice thing is that you can have different Matrix backends. So Dendrite is another one that's being developed that solves some of the problems that Synapse has. You can have different Matrix front ends as well. And then you can have applications that plug into the Matrix network. It's nice. All right, let's do another sat giveaway. So I'm going to give GX some sats. What do you say? Let's give GX 1,000 sats. There you go, GX. Computer guy, not to be confused with computer kid.
It's a race. I'm going to boost computer guy right now.
Oh, are you boosting too? Oh!
I'm sneaking in with the boosts.
Wes is doing some
Very
generous
nice.
boosts. Nice. Look at you, Wes. Look at you. Some double boosting going on. All right, computer guy gets 2,000 sats. Uh-oh. Hold on. Computer guy, it says it doesn't like... Oh, it says, we've already paid that one. Oh, maybe we can only pay one invoice at a time. Oh, that might be it.
So.
Yeah, that might be it. Now, KPVOC already got some, but did he generate a new one? If he generated a new one, Wes, you ought to try...
that might just be dirty.
No, let him. No, it's fair. It's fair, I think. We just have to be careful. We just got to watch it. I'm like, I remember now because I have to say the names out loud. I'm memorizing them as I go. And you have them here in the doc, so we can just review them. That's right. We're keeping track of you. We're keeping track. All right. So Linux tweaks. Okay. All right. Okay. Linux. Now, is that like tweaks in the sense of like you like to mess with Linux, or is that tweaks in the sense of like you're tweaking out while you're messing with Linux? Either way, you're getting 1,000 sats. That's right.
I thought it was like, I first read Linux twerks, which is a little different.
Yeah. Although probably also interesting.
My new screen name. Excellent.
There's probably a YouTuber out there doing that. You can picture the stills already. The stills make themselves for that one. We got 20 people hanging out in the quiet listening right now, getting the low latency. Or 20 maybe total.
Oh, geez.
Maybe it's not.
I'm
maybe
starting
it's
to get
16.
blisters.
Is that what it is? Are you? Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, this is great. Keep
Good.
it coming. I'll just put some, I don't know, therapeutic gloves on or something.
Yeah. We could have made like a whole millionaire thing out of this. We could have done the whole bit. Playing up like game show music and
Oh, yeah.
seeing, yeah.
It could be like a programmatic millionaire, and then it's set up to just automatically send payments immediately. You don't have to wait to the end. It's like pays you sats as you go through the level.
There's some command line clients. You could probably make that work. You could probably just do it all with a nice bash script. You know what I'm saying? You could probably do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to give Friar Tech. Oh, Friar Tech. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. You're getting 1,000 sats. I like that. You got it. All right. So Tim coming in. Tim, you know what? A nice, easy to say, not going to mess that one up username. I can appreciate that. So, boy, you know what I could do? I could send you some sats for that. Thanks, Tim. You're getting 1,000 sats. Oh, looks like Wes already got to him. It's a race,
whoops.
Wes. No, it's good. You and I are in a race now. I like it. This is awesome. I mean, it makes the sats go further, right? So this is a good thing.
True.
All right, so I'm coming in now on, what do you think? Ian? Oh, you already got that one too. You fast little bastard. All right, I'm going for Durbin. See if I can beat Wes Payne to Durbin. Okay. How are you doing this so fast? What are you doing?
Oh, I think I was going from the bottom for a moment.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Great. All right. Well, Durbin, you're getting 2,000 sats. How about that? Pow. How about that? You like them sats? And there you go. Uh-oh. Moving too fast.
I'm seeing...
Yep.
Redisc, I think it is. I don't think that's a legit address if you compare yours to everybody else. I don't know what's going on there. There's no BC before it or anything, so give it another shot. We're looking for a Lightning address.
You know what? Toad Rocks Boat, you're getting some sats. There you go. Eric, JB2.
Keep rocking that boat.
Now, what's with the JB2? What happened to your JB1? Why does it have a number at all? Did the first one have a number?
No, that's just smart naming because you got to make breaking changes sometimes.
But if the first one didn't have a number, wouldn't this be 1? Anyways, you're getting 1,000 sats. However you want to do it, you're getting
it's implicit
sats.
0, Chris 0.
So what are you doing over there? Are you doing strike over there? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Are you doing strike
I
on the
am.
computer or are you doing strike on the mobile?
Strike on the phone like a madman.
Oh, yeah. They do have a Chrome extension.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe I should try that.
I'm a T-Link. Well, Wes got you. So you're good. You got boosted. Boom. So by the way, if you're listening after the fact, and Nev's in there again, if you're listening after the fact and you want to just get yourself some sats the easy way, Strike is a great way to do it if you're in the U.S. And outside the U.S., I really like Blue Wallet. It can be a little weird because the thing is, say Blue Wallet, for example, they use MoonPay, and that sounds like a weird name. And because they're regulated, they're going to ask for your ID because that's the law for the U.S. terrorism and money laundering laws. So there is that. DPG, boom, you're getting 2,000 sats. That's right. Pow. How do you like that? I'm coming for you next, J-Moon, unless Wes gets there first. I'm coming in. It's as fast as the extension can load, Is it fast? Not that fast. But is it faster
now
than
I'm
Wes's
playing with
phone?
the extension, so you got me
shoot!
distracted.
Yeah, it syncs up your accounts. All right, J Moon, guess what? You just got 2,000 sats from Wes Payne over there. All right, look at Wes Payne getting in fast. All right, Friar Tech, you already got boosted. He's going again, isn't he? All right, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I can beat Wes to it. Now it's a matter of pride. All right, let's see. Can I get there before? Oh, Wes already got it. Damn it, Wes, you're fast. All right, Fred Warren. I'm coming in for you next. Let's see here. I'm going to boost you. I shouldn't say it out
Man,
loud.
my wrists are cramping up. This is great.
You're doing great, Brent. All right, Fred, you just got boosted 1,000 sats. There you go.
Sage is asking, how do you create an invoice on Fountain? You go to the wallet section.
Yep.
On the bottom, you go to the wallet section, and then you can somehow ask for an invoice, and I think it's like receive payment or something.
Yeah, well, when you go into the
and
wallet,
give you all the links you need.
That's a great. You know what? We should probably walk through this real quick. We go into the Fountain app. You go to the wallet section, and then if you do the hamburger menu next to the wallet entry up top, it'll bring up a little thing where you say add funds, and then from there you generate us an invoice. And it's like it suffers from the hamburger menu problem, but like I said with my chat with Oscar. It is stupid surprising how complex a podcast app becomes when you start thinking about every screen and every aspect, and especially the stuff they're trying to add with transcript and live streaming and boosts and comments and clips. But being able to edit the clips by text, how cool is that? That is, and I've now discovered 2 separate podcasts that I've listened to that I never even heard of before. I like that. I like that. So is it slowing down, Brent? Because I still got more sats to give away. People just got to get in their matrix
Yeah, it is
room.
slowing down. I think people are figuring it out. I'm, twisting my wrist to try to get the blood flowing again. So keep it coming.
Good.
We didn't get you backup hands, did we?
Oh, hey, guess what?
No.
We got our own boost. Somebody just boosted us. From the reverse. You get
That's
some
awesome.
sats. Comes in from 412 Linux. 9 minutes ago from Turquoise Fox. I could ask for some sats, but I'll pew you instead. Let's get this party going. 2,000 sats from Turquoise Fox. That's great. Thank you. Then 5 hours ago, we got a bunch of boosts for Linux Action news this week, so that's nice to see. User 6485 said, "Thank you for your diligence on keeping us up to date with Linux adjacent news. I'm not able to boost from the All Shows feed, so I switched over here so I could boost you." James from the East Coast. Yeah, we're going to get that working. We are. Oh, and just look, another boost just came in. Not even related to the live stream. We just got from, Friar Tech. Friar Tech is listening. So Friar Tech just boosted us from self-hosted 66. Pie. That's awesome. So yeah, if you want to try boosting us, you can see if it works. Although the intention wasn't for you to necessarily send it back to us. You can send it to any podcast. But while you're listening, you'll see in one of these apps, you'll see that the button's there to boost, and that means that podcast is supported. Now, my thought is, do we have a new one there? We do. Sage of Fred Ondo. What I just realized is I could possibly front run. That's what you're doing. You're front running me. You're front running me in the Matrix. That's
dog.
what you're doing. Oh, I'm waiting for the dog, and you're front running me. I see what.
Why am I even doing the doc then?
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
All right. I'll keep doing that.
It's not. I don't know if it's just me either. I didn't do that one.
Oh, okay. Sage, you just got 2,000 sats. There you go. I see Kelds is in there too. Coming in now. There we go. Sage just got some sats. Very nice. What was I? Here's my thought with these new podcast apps. I don't know if I could say maybe there is feature complete as something like AntennaPod or Overcast or maybe even Pocket Cast for some, especially because Pocket Cast has such a nice web UI. But my thinking is that if these other podcast apps start seeing people leave before these features, they're going to be compelled to build these features in, and then our favorite apps will get them. Like we can ask for them, we can vote with our feet. It's a part of a process, I think. All right, let's see. Let's do Optimus Gray coming in. I'll
let you have that one.
Yeah, we should Optimus Gray. You should do another one.
You guys go way back.
Optimus should do two. Do two. Optimus.
Yeah, true.
Do two. All right, Optimus Gray, you're coming in right now. Get ready for some sats in your face, because I am sending you 2,000 sats right now. Pew! And it's great. Is like it happens. They get the sats before they even hear me tell them on the stream they're getting the sats, right? Because the Lightning Network is
pretty great.
It's faster than the stream. That's great.
And way faster than our Matrix.
Totally true. All right. So, Brent, are you thumbsing up? No. Oh, I see. Good thinking, Brent. You're on top of this S.
That was an audience suggestion. Thank you.
All right. So
I forget who mentioned that, but that was a great idea.
I did that one.
You did
I'm putting a little W there.
Oh, I see. All right. So K-pop round 2, huh? All right. You know what? Let's do it. Round 2 for KP. Because you know what? He took the time tonight. Here you go. Here's 1,000 sats. I'm a Talink number 2. Second round for I'm a Talink. Let's get this going here. Let's get some money in these people's pocket. Let's support some content creators. Keep an eye out, because this Lightning Wallet, you don't have to just use it for podcasts, too. It's anything on the Lightning Network. Merchants. I'm not sending you $45 in sats, though, my friend. Nice try, but I'm checking these. So, the whole idea here is you almost got it, but I'm checking them. True. So, the thing is you can send these to anybody on the Lightning Network. So that's not just the podcasters. That's anybody like a developer. There's a new app that just launched in the App Store today. It's from the Bitcoin company, if you want to search for it. And it converts Lightning sats into gift cards for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different businesses and whatnot. All right, cool. So I'm going to send 1,000 sats right now to True Grits. 1,000 sats coming to your face, True Grits. Here we go. Pew! There you go. GX round 2. Is that US?
Yeah,
you getting that?
I'm on it.
All right, GX, you're getting your round 2 of sats. Very nice. Very good. All right. Half a pint, you're going to get some sats. You want some sats, half a pint, you're going to get some damn sats. He wants some sats, he's going to get some sats. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm sending them over to you. Here we go, 2,000 sats. Pew! There you go, half pint. Speculation.
I like that your method is telling us the sats. I just get the USD amount.
Oh, I'm doing the math.
You're doing the math.
You're doing the math. That's why it's taking you so long. What's Les doing?
Yeah.
I see here there's speculation that half pint is Joe Rez stacking some sats over there.
It could be. Who knows?
I like it.
He's secretly stacking sats while we do this over there.
Hey, Tim is asking.
How dare
he says he
you?
didn't get
How
his
dare you
1K.
accuse me of such nonsense?
I think it's true. What were you saying, Brent?
Tim says that he hasn't received your 1K that you mentioned, but he says his invoice was for 2K, so he's wondering what's going on.
Tim, let's see.
You gotta check on Tim.
I will check on Tim. Tim, that was a while ago too. So yeah, you totes my goats should have.
Yeah,
it.
maybe should we get? Is it still in the doc or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I can
repost?
check. So the cool thing about the invoice is I can always just double check that, and of course he could always just send us another one too. But let's double see. You're right. Oh, no, it says it has been paid. Uh-oh, Tim. What app are you using? Fountain? Give us another invoice, Tim. Let's give it a go. Let's see it. Let's see if we can't give it a go over there. In the meantime, I think I'm going to go get Skin 86. I think I'm getting there before you, Wes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Now that you're not front running me as much now. I'm beating you now. I see how it is. I see. Oh shit, Skin, shit. I'm not going to say how much that is. Pew! But there you go. I'm not doing that for any. I'm just. Wow. All right, Mac. You want round 2? We'll give you round 2. Give us now for these round 2s. You know.
No, I'm getting
okay.
Mac.
Mac, you got. Oh, this is fun. This is like, okay, Rube, I think, yep, Rube, this is round 2 for Rube, but that's cool. Let's do it. I'm going to do round 2 for Rube here. I effing love the Lightning Network. I love this. I love that I can tell if you guys already paid. I love how fast it is. Pew! Pow, there you go, Rube. There you go. Enjoy that. Oh, okay, so John Tux, or Jonathan Tux, was that Joan Tux? How would you say that? Why is that screwing with me so much?
I'd say Johan Tux.
That's might be
that's
what
just
it is.
crazy.
No, I like Johan. That's what we're going with, remember? Johan, 2,000 sats for your face, my friend.
What if you don't want them in your face?
How many times is Nev going to invoice?
No, Nev says he hasn't actually gotten them. He says still haven't gotten any sats, and he included that address. So maybe it's a previous address.
I'll try.
Yeah,
that's your territory.
Give it old boosteroo there, Wes. Let's see. Oh, we just got 50 sats from KP Kavak. It's the first boost from my favorite podcast. May it never go away again. Coda Radio. There you go. Thank you, sir.
Aww.
Thank you. It's nice. That's nice. Well, okay. Wow. Look at that. So now here's the thing is hang out in our matrix, chat with us. You know, don't be a stranger because you're gonna have this now. All right, Friar Tech, you ready for round 2? You ready? What do you say? I feel like I still, again, this is such an opportunity for like a millionaire theme, but you know, it'd be a lot because we're sending a lot of sats out. I'm already pewing a lot. All right, 2,000 sats for round 2. That's a total of 4,000 sats for Friar Tech.
And then we already determined the term was Satoshianaire.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is Satoshianaire. I'm a Telink again with this. Come on.
I got that. Boom.
Okay, all right. Wes is going for it. Very nice, Wes.
It's for people who like to mess with computers.
That's us. All right, Droz. Going for, what do you think? Oh, no, Dr. Zoe. That's Dr. Zoe for sure. I'm sorry. I just spot read.
Could be Zoe, but who's counting?
Could be Dr. Zoe too. I'm a spot reader, so I just suck at this kind of stuff. But you're getting 2,000 sats, so that probably makes it better, right? There you go. 2,000 sats for you. Well, I thought maybe Linus Torvalds would stop by tonight, you know? I mean, I don't know. I just thought maybe. Seems like a long shot.
Send him an invite for every one of the streams.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yosemite Sam, because I liked your nick so much, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you some more sats. How do you like that? I just like that damn username. I think it's easy. So it was the first easy username of the night. So you're getting 2,000 more sats. Here you go.
So desperate for an easy username.
I'm going to incentivize easy usernames. That's what it's come to.
What if the username includes its own phonetic pronunciation? Can it be more difficult then?
So Bearded Tech did that with his GitHub. If you go to Fever, if you go to his Fever site, he does the phonetic pronunciation in the GitHub.
Thinking about the podcasters are gonna have to try to say it. You know,
it was great.
I appreciate that.
It was like one of the first times I've ever opened it up, and I was like, "Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much for that." So yeah, all right, we got. I think we're winding down. So these last few minutes, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up here. One more. Toad Rocks the Boat for number 2 for Toad Rocks the Boat. Going to bring it in for some sats for Mr. Rocks the Boat over there. Mrs. Could be a Mrs. actually. They are going to get 1,000 sats. Here you go, Toad. Pew! Enjoy. I see Persistence coming back to the well again. Very good. Very good.
Excellent.
Bring it in. We'll let Brent catch up.
Sorry, I was trying to. Someone mentioned IRC. I switched over there to look. Didn't see an address.
You're doing great.
So.
No, people have been really awesome about being able to get in the Matrix. It's not the easiest thing. We have the best audience. They are so great about that kind of stuff. You know, part of it too, it's like, I think you guys get that if we don't use this stuff, who is going to use this stuff, right? Like, if we can't make it work, nobody can, right? Because, like, we are the early adopters. We are the people that love open source software and all that kind of stuff. All right, Persistent, I'm going to send you some more sats. What do you say? Because you've been so persistent. I'm sorry. So you're getting 2,000 sats for putting up with my bad joke. Oh, Wes already got it.
Oh, did I?
Oh, maybe not. It says it's already paid.
Okay, wow.
Somebody
I can't
paid
argue with the Lightning Network.
Somebody paid it. I mean, I'll try again, but it did say, here, maybe if I hit this button that says send all of my sats, maybe then it'll go. Yep, nope, it says it got paid. Maybe they need to generate another invoice. Another invoice.
Hey, Nev finally got some. Good. I was worried about that.
Good.
Nev.
Bearded Tech taking the extra time tonight to stop by, so Bearded Tech's going to get some sats coming your way in your face, Beard. Stand by. And great work on Fever, by the way. Here's 1,000 sats. There you go.
Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Was that your phone buzzing, getting the sats right there? That's great. VBO, how about some sats? Good. I'm glad you got in here.
Vibotnik.
Oh, Wes, you ought to take a shot at more of these. That was good. All right. There you go. 1,000 sats for your face. Pew pew.
Sage is asking, who do we recommend that is a good other podcast that's participating in the Lightning Network that they can send sats to?
So, I mean, each one of these apps actually will let you. So this is another advantage to podcasts getting on board with this is the podcast apps that support the boosts and the value for value in their Discover areas are featuring the value for value podcast sections. So a lot of them have like podcasts that are on Lightning or podcasts that support value, and it's a much shorter list. So a lot of them just have it all built in. I would check that out. And of course, you can go to the podcast index too, and you can search over there as well. Oh, guess what, guys? We just got a boost. This one came in from user 4007 using Fountain. NextOS on my desktop, my laptop, and I'm now working on deploying it on my server. Nicely done. What? The laptop, huh?
All right, I'm getting prescient again.
All right, you're going to get Persistent. Very good.
Yep.
Very good. Thank you. Dude, I got it. Xamarin, Zamarian, who knows, right? You can't
knows?
You can't tell these things. You can't.
Now, how do you say the open source NVIDIA driver?
The Navu driver, the
Perfect.
barely works, I think is how I say it. I think that's how I say it.
Nouveau.
Yeah, thank you. That's what we need, Joe.
We need a recording of that just on this.
No, we just need Joe on Mumble for these things. Really, let's be honest. He can just pronounce
true.
them. All right, so Linux Tweaks is going to top off, and I think that's a good idea. Who doesn't want to top off? Let's top Linux Tweaks off. There you go. Here we go. Going to send you some sats, Linux Tweets. Thank you for joining us today. There you go. You're going to get some damn sats. There you go. Just topped them off. Rounded them up to $2,000 right there. 2,000 sats. maybe $2,000 one day. Hey, you do have at least one kernel developed. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for being here. Hello. Nice.
It might sound insane, but I think I really want my app that I'm using to make the pew noise every time. It feels a little empty without it.
A couple of them do confetti and stuff like that. A couple of them do kind of like, really do turn it up. Oh, we just got another boost. Another boost came back into us. 500 sats from Rubicon Man. Rubicon Man? Love the show, guys. Keep it up. Sent from Linux Unplugged 451. Well, thank you. How you doing over there, Brent? You holding up?
Hey, that was our first sat receiver of the day, too. Nice.
I'm in the
Already
flow.
doing
Don't
it.
bother me while I'm in the flow.
Sorry. You're right. You're right. No, you're right. Right. All right. I think you know what we should do. I think it's time for the last round. So I'm gonna get DPG for the second time because nice simple username again. I think that always deserves some sats. You're gonna get Skinix. All right, Skinix. All right, that's we're gonna send out 1,000 sats to DPG. Skinix, you're getting some sats from Wes. There you go.
Sats coming your way.
Hey, Prescient says he's going to set up an Umbrel server he's excited to work with soon. So
that's
this
great.
is an intro to that.
Neat.
All right, and Nev, I think you know what. All right, Brent, tell you what. You tell us when you want to pick the last one. I think we're there, though. I think we're real close. Because I'm seeing a lot of number
I
round
think-
twos and stuff now, so I feel like
True Grits just came in and he was looking to double dip, so I think
All right.
that's a good
All
place
right,
to
let's
go.
do that.
All right,
Boom.
let's do a little double dip there, a little dirty double dip. And Nev, I'm gonna also give you some there. There you go. Enjoy that. Here's what I'm thinking: is if somebody's listening to this after the fact, or they couldn't get it set up today because of some technical challenge, let me know on Sunday. We could do a few more giveaways during the Linux Unplugged stream after the show. And I think that would probably, maybe we can catch a few people that either couldn't make it tonight because it's a work night or it's a weird hour or whatever.
Literally midnight.
Yeah. So we'll do this. We do Linux Unplugged. We'll do this again for a few at least on Sunday. And that starts at noon Pacific. But remember, you can always get it converted to your local time at jupiterbroadcasting.com/calendar. Did you get True Grits there, Wes?
I sure did.
There you go, True Grits. There you have it.
Someone mentioned that Logic didn't get any. I'm not sure. So I think someone's helping him out, trying to get it to me. So we'll see what we can do.
Okay. All right. You keep me posted on that because we do have a couple of questions. We do want to do a little AMA stuff before we get out of here. We don't have a ton of these, but we do have some. So Wes, keep an eye on there, and Brent, keep an eye on there. Let me know if there's any. Wow, we gave a lot. That's a lot. Damn.
We destroyed our duck.
That's great. Yeah. No, that's great. Okay. So I just want to address one thing, and that is I know some people, probably nobody listening to this stream, have enjoyed the crypto content, as it's been called. I don't really consider it that. The boosts are new, right? So we've been talking about it a lot right now because the boost just kind of became a thing. Podcasting 2.0 is just becoming a thing. The podcast industry is getting crushed. Like all those things are happening at once. So it's been a real trendy topic in the show. So we do have some people that have some questions about that. So I wanted to get to a couple of those. Number one came in, this has been asked a few times, is if you are a member of the Jupiter Party subscription or any of the individual show subscriptions, the boost options don't show up for our members because those are custom feeds for each member that's generated by a back-end service, and they don't support inserting the value for value tag. Now, I didn't really expect people who were members would then want to turn around and boost a bunch, but it has definitely become a thing. So it's something we're thinking about. We are definitely thinking about ways to accommodate that, but it's not immediately addressable. It probably involves something big on the back end to change. There was also a question about Linux Boost apps. That's probably best done with web apps. We're also looking at ways to embed links in the web pages and the websites or something like that.
There are some command line alternatives too if you want to get real nerdy about it.
We do get a handful of boosts on the regular from people that are using a command line boost client, Boost CLI. And you can go grab Boost CLI on GitHub. And then you don't need a podcast app or anything. You just send it from the command line. And then we'll
Internet
try to
connection, your bash terminal, good to go.
put it in your Gwake drop-down terminal, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Does that mean the wallet is a CLI app too?
I guess so. Got to play with that. I guess so. Yeah, I guess it must generate an address that you just send the Lightning sats to. Probably should play with it. And then,
Okay, so I found Logic's invoice, and Lord of Bytes snuck one in there. So I
okay.
don't know if you
Are they
guys got around to
Are they
that.
at the bottom of the dock there?
Oh yeah, the very bottom.
Scroll.
Pew, 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 pew. All right, you get Lord of Bytes there, Wes. What do you say? And I'll get Logic.
I'm on it.
Poo,
Yep.
poo, poo, poo. All right, Logic. We're gonna send you some damn sats, and Lord of Bytes, you're gonna get some sats. Okay, here. Lord. All right, here you go. I'm not gonna say how much that was. And Lord of Bytes, your sats. There you go.
Pryor also mentioned that he stayed late at work to participate in this, and that someone should call his wife to let her know he's going to be late.
If she has a wallet, if she's got a Lightning wallet, we
Yeah.
can send her some sats to try to make up.
Totally, right? By the way, I really like if you want a Lightning wallet that isn't a podcast app, Blue Wallet is a great
What
app.
a sentence that is.
I know, right? It's a funny thing, but it's going to become more and more of a thing. So we're also working on getting the value for value tag added to the All Shows feed, so that'll be coming soon because people are bailing off the All Shows feed to subscribe to the individual show feed, so that way they can boost us. That's not necessarily what we want, so we're going to be working on that soon. And yes, and then the idea is to really not really talk about it as much in the shows anymore. That's just something that's just sort of been organically happening as boosts have been new. And here's the tricky
So we
thing.
get excited about it and play with it.
True. And there is genuinely, as you can tell from tonight, there is genuine interest in the audience, because the goal here, right, is to create another leg for the podcast industry so we can remain independent. And when you have this issue of centralization that's crushing us, and then something that comes along that is peer-to-peer and completely decentralized and completely self-hostable and completely free software. How could I not, if I genuinely felt after 15 years that my industry was facing an existential crisis, how could I not talk about it? So there's a little bit of that too. That does play a factor. But I think we're going to just transition now into, this is just sort of a standard practice. We're going to try to feature the most compelling boosts in the shows as a thank you, as a, return of value for there. And, the other thing to really consider here is there's other ways to participate, and it's for all podcasts that you really love that demonstrate value that is not necessarily sats. Like Minimech shows up at all kinds of different crazy hours to help us manage the Mumble Room and help people check their microphones. And that makes a huge difference for our Mumble Room and for how it runs and the quality of what we get on air. It's huge, right?
No kidding.
That's more valuable than sats. It's different ways of doing things. And so the whole idea, it's talent, time, or treasure. And for a lot of us who are busy, the treasure is the most reasonable and quickest accessible way. And so when you say, okay, well, why sats over, say, just, some fiat by, becoming a member or some other kind of thing? To that, I would say it really depends on what you are the most comfortable with. Whatever you prefer, we're great with. What we like about the Lightning Network and sats is that, A, it can be less than $1 if you choose. That wouldn't be viable with any financial system, any bank system that JB could work with. The fees alone would be more than that $1, right? So it kind of needs to be like $3 or $5 or $20, right? Because there's a chunk that all the people, Stripe takes or whoever it is, the bank takes, Visa takes, everybody gets a cut with that. But with the Lightning Network, it's stupid low fees, especially people participating in the Podcast Index Network. The channel fees are really low. So people can send us a few cents, or people can send us $50. And that $50 is something that we would probably sit on, because I'm not really intending to spend any of this Bitcoin. And we would sit on there and use that as an asset that adds value to not only our balance sheet, but is potentially going to grow in value over time. So your $50 that you sent us maybe today could be worth $100 in a year or two. And okay, yeah, you lost out on $50 plus the gains, but also your one-time $50 donation continued to work for multiple years for the podcast network that you like. And so there's multiple motivations. It could be for really cheap reasons. It can be for like strategic investment reasons, but it doesn't have to be sats. It could be time. It could be talent. It could also be memberships. It could be using our sponsors. It could be sharing our shows with people.
Yes.
All of that stuff. So, and I think that's where we're going to kind of move the conversation in the future. So I appreciate everybody's patience as we got this. I boosted about NixOS. Oh, okay, that was your boost. So for the record, Nev's boost about NixOS on the laptop, desktop, and now on the servers. That was Nev. Mm-hmm. Keep us posted on how that goes, because I am thinking it could make some nice workstation type machines. We had a tax question in here, so let's talk about that really quick, because this is something that doesn't come up a lot, and I think this is something everybody needs to think about. So,
as you know, we are tax experts.
Yeah. This is 100% always financial advice, and you should do everything that I say. And I am a tax. No, I'm not. No,
that's
of course
why we
not.
turn to our Canadian friend Brent with an expert in our American tax system.
Right.
Yeah, my advice is seek advice.
Nice, dude. Okay, so the tax implications. So, Bitcoin it's a property. It's considered by the. Now this is going to be different everywhere you're at, but it's considered by the IRS property. So there is implications if you buy Bitcoin and then you sit on that Bitcoin and that Bitcoin goes up in value. You have some tax ramifications there, just like if you bought anything else that's an asset that goes up in value. Now, I think that exposure is pretty low when it's a couple of bucks and then you spend it immediately. So there's that. Now, I don't know for sure, but I think that means it's pretty much a pretty low exposure because you're selling and buying at exactly the same price. So there's a whole range of questions and answers that we're all going to start getting over the next couple of years about this. Literally every major Western government is working on regulations and figuring out tax policies right now. So this is all getting sorted out. We are definitely early adopters in this area. But as somebody who has been experimenting with this for about 12 years, what I have found is it's basically quite simple. You hold the Bitcoin, and if you're going to spend the Bitcoin, you buy and spend the Bitcoin kind of immediately. And that's kind of where I think Lightning's sort of great, because you can, with Strike, for example, you could buy it with USD right away. It immediately on the back end converts it to Lightning, so it's exactly at the moment of sale, and it's sent off as Lightning, it's done. So they convert it instantaneously. And I think that is probably what is going to be adopted going forward. Then additionally, and when I say adopted, I mean like that kind of instant buy and spend, where you're not sitting on the Bitcoin for a year before you spend it, so there wasn't like a gain there. I think that's going to become more common. But then the other thing that's also going to possibly develop, we don't know what the dollar amount's going to be yet, but again, this is U.S. specific because that's the jurisdiction I know, is there's presently a bill in the Senate that would eliminate all capital gains tax on $600 or below. Any transaction $600 or below.
Interesting.
The number, the dollar amount is going to get screwed with. I would not be surprised if they cut it in half, so it's like $300 or something like that. But that is also something that's being, and the nice thing about that bill is it seems to be, I'd have to double check, but it seems to be there's bipartisan support behind that one. So, and last but not least, you could also, if you're not comfortable with that aspect, you could always just join a membership program like Jupiter.party, and you get access to that stuff. Ultimately, I want to get access to this kind of stuff. I want to try to figure out a system that's really integrated, but it's all new. It's all early. It's sort of like a year ago with Matrix. We weren't really sure if this was a wild science experiment or if this was the future of how we're going to do communication. And now we're starting to lean towards the latter. And with a boost in value for value, I'm starting to really think, okay, how do I want this to work for the next 15 years? So I'm beginning a 15-year journey now. You're all witnessing the beginning of the next 15 years of JB. It's something I think about a lot recently. I think in part just because I hit 40, and in part because we kind of hit like the 2-year mark of being independent, and also because the ad industry is changing, and also because the whole macro economy is a total shit show. So all of these things really are on my mind, and I can see a lot of similarities here. Bitcoin and the Lightning Network are about at 1997 right now. That's where they're at. You know, you're on AOL or CompuServe or whatever, and you're getting connected to old chat rooms. That's where we're at right now with Bitcoin. And if you actually overlay the Bitcoin adoption chart with the internet adoption chart, it's incredible how they sync up. Only Bitcoin has the advantage of the entire network is already there. TCP/IP is already in every home and every business. The internet didn't have that advantage. It had to build that out. So it's going to go even faster. But we're about at 1997. And we're starting to get things like Strike. We're starting to get things like the Cash App. We're going to start seeing Apple Pay support and things like Strike. Going to get easier and easier as time goes on. But we're still in that early adopter phase right now. And so that's why I'm getting on board. Because I was an early adopter on Linux. You know, I spent so much of my career advocating and convincing people that Linux and free software wasn't a scam. And I regret in some ways that I got out of the industry before I got to enjoy just it being the default and assumed. I never stuck around long enough to see that because I switched over to podcasting full time. But when I switched over to podcasting full time, that was also really new, right? It was really not something that anybody in our space was doing full time. Not really any podcasters were doing it full time when I started doing it. Maybe Leo Laporte by then, maybe. Maybe Adam Curry, I would assume. I mean, like just a handful of folks, right? It was really early, and I think some of my very close family members still don't understand what I'm doing, and they think I'm crazy. They think I'm ridiculous, right? It's just sort of been that way. And I think there's some of our audience out there that kind of has a little bit of an early adopter streak in them. Not all of them, but I think some, right? And it's fun. It's fun to help pioneer some of this stuff.
Yeah, you get to be on the ground floor to see what things work, and obviously not everything does, right? And the latest new open source tech project that is really excited for 2 years, and then the founders move on, or the project gets bought, or whatever, right? And it's going to be totally the same in a lot of the spaces that we get excited about with technology.
Yep, yeah, we're gonna watch sort of a .com boom and bust, kind of all over again. But it's pretty neat. And so now, hopefully, you've been armed. So we have a couple that haven't gotten their Bitcoins. It looks like a couple people didn't get their sats. So we'll make good on those, and I think we're going to wrap it up. So Brent, where are those ones? Are they at the bottom of the doc?
Yeah, I kind of separated where you guys sort of stopped talking about them.
Okay.
At the late boost, it says. So a few folks there we've sent some to already, but a few folks are new. So
late
just browse through
boost, Jupiter. How do you say that one? Do you think, Brent? Jupiter Barrera?
Barrera, yeah.
I mean,
Please.
that's
a great name.
That's rad. That's really rad.
Yep.
All right.
And Tuck's getting an error with Fountain. Interesting. I haven't seen that one.
Now, Barrera, I'm saying, Wes, did you already get Barrera? Because Barrera has already been gat.
I don't know. I've gotten a couple, but that name doesn't look familiar.
Now, Elliot, what client is Elliot using? Because look how Elliot's address is formatted differently than everybody else's. You seeing that? It's just slightly different. It's all uppercase.
Huh.
Wonder what client that is. Elliot, do you want to share with the class? You're getting a boost though. There you go.
I also noticed that some addresses are longer than others, so I'm curious about how that all works.
Should we give Tim some Umbral love? What do you say?
Give it a shot. I might have got that one.
You might have? All right, I'll see. I'll check. Because if you didn't, I'll get it. Because that's the nice thing is it'll tell me if you got it. Nope. 2,000 sats going to you, Tim. There you go. There you go. I've lost track of how many times some of these people. We're not even in the double dip territory anymore, I don't think. Oh, unable to find the payment route. Okay, so if you just got your Umbral box set up, you probably need to open up some inbound channels. What an adventure you're about to go under.
Yeah, really. We had fun with that.
Early adopter stuff.
So what you want is there are a couple of different places where you can give them like some Bitcoin dust, basically, and they'll open up an inbound channel to you. That's what you need. You need an inbound channel because it is a peer-to-peer network. Now, there are tools in Umbral. I've never done this, but if you want to, there is an app you can install in Umbral that lets you bid on channels, and you can buy and sell channel access. And it's a little way to make a little extra money on the side. But I figure I don't need to mess with any of that. So, all right, okay,
what
guys.
What channels did you get connected to, Chris? I know there's, Podcasting 2.0, right? Was one.
Yep, and I took advantage of like send us like a little dust, and we'll open up a channel to you, and then some listeners and I have opened up some channels. So I think I got like 6 channels now to our 6 or 7 channels that come into our node now, like a boss. And if I was really thinking ahead, I probably would be posting our node address more so we could have more channels. Because the more channels you're connected to, the different routes the Lightning Network can find, and it'll, always try to find the most efficient route. And then it's, all set up and ready to go. It's a cool thing. It's a pretty neat thing. It is complicated, but it is also a lot of fun. Uh-oh. We got one more boost before we get out of here.
What? Secret last boost?
Oh, we got 2. We just got another boost, too, just as So a couple of minutes ago from Sir Lurks-a-Lot, I guess, from Self-Hosted 67, the No Container Theory episode. This is my first boost. Tim from the AMA. Thanks. Well, there you go, Tim. You're welcome. And then
That's the best username so far, I think.
Jonah Tux, I think is what we went with. Jonah Tux just boosted us 500 sats for the Next OS challenge. And then Turquoise Fox just sent one in. Says, I managed to send you 2 payments with the same question. So enjoy the extra sats. And then I think, I'm not sure if Bitcoin Social is actually watching live. I think he just sent us a boost for Coder. Maybe he's watching live. But he says, Chris Rock can say whatever he wants. I have no idea what he's referring to. No idea. And then, we got a question that came in via a boost. Sorry, guys. We just got another one. So Turquoise Fox wants to know if the Jupiter membership will ever be available via sats, because I don't like the credit card requirement. Yeah, that is probably something we're going to work on eventually.
That's a great question.
Yeah. It's something I definitely want to get done. 500 sats just came in from user 780066428113070. Love the show. and all you do for the community, this is a great way to get us on the network. Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I will totally plug Bitcoin Dad Pod. It's I'm doing a weekly Bitcoin podcast with the Bitcoin Dad. So you can get that at bitcoindadpod.fireside.fm. Toad Rocks just boosted us, said thanks for the content, the challenge, and the channel. Awesome. Another boost just came in. Wow, you guys. Love the show. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we got to wrap it up, though. But yeah, keep sending them boosts.
Hooked on the boosts.
Yeah, keep boosting.
Can you send some to... Can you send a little love to Mac? I think he just finally got one set up. So.
Totally. Good job, Mac. I'm glad we were able to take our time with this because I know some of this is a bit of a process. And kind of being here with you guys while we do this gives us an idea of where the sticky spots are. So there you go, Mac. You just got some sats. Thank you for making it work. Well, maybe it's trying. Unable to find the payment route. So Mac, you might be on it. So you could tell who's on a self-hosted instance.
Because it's not working.
Yeah, I'll try again, but it may not work, Mac. You may need some inbound liquidity. Or you may need to set it up in a... it could also be, I wonder if we just used up the inbound liquidity for LN Pay, which Fountain uses. I wonder if we just... Yeah, we might have just... Because we've been going for a while, sending a lot of sats. So that could totally be a thing, that's okay. We're going to do this again on Sunday, Mac. So if you'd like to stop by on Sunday, remind me, and we'll get you taken care of. And that's true for anybody, because it looks like we've literally...
Oh, yeah, same here.
Huh? Yeah, we've worn out our welcome. We have worn out our welcome on that one.
Just in time, eh?
Yeah. You know what?
I got to say, I want to do a shout out to Elliot. He says he's paying some sats for other people. So.
Oh, thanks, Elliot. The other thing I was going to say, too, is that sometimes other people could get the route, depending on your channels and all of that. Something that I'll probably learn more about as it becomes more serious, but you can also be strategic about your channels. There's some people who also are like really, really clever about who they open up channels to and how they set the fees. The Kraken exchange just started accepting Lightning as a way to get Bitcoin on and off Kraken.
Is that right?
Isn't that nice?
That seems like one of the bigger things, like the more places that really integrate into this, the more liquidity in the system, that's when it could really get, from like something we have to kind of play around with as half toy to something that's really just useful.
I think they put like 13 Bitcoin of liquidity on there too.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's some people though, they're like connecting their channels and they're like cranking up the fees, but all that will get sorted out, because it's early days. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for being here to help us kick off the next 15 years. Don't forget, if you'd like to do more of this, one way to definitely make this possible is by thanking Linode by visiting linode.com/Jupiter. You get a $100 credit on a new account. And it's a way to say thanks for supporting the live stream because they're kind of taking a gamble on this sort of thing. So it's always appreciated. And join us on Sunday where we'll do this and some Linux Unplugged. Maybe that Linux podcast too. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you, Mumble Room. Thank you, Mumble Room. Thank you, Chat Room. Come hang out in the other Matrix rooms. If you just joined the Matrix, don't forget we got a bunch of other channels in there. All kinds of stuff, including the Nix Nerds room for our Nix challenge. That's in there as well. So love to see you in there. All right. That's it. Thanks, everybody. Let's do it again soon.